A lot of the work we do in algebra is simplifying. We're trying to make things less complicated, smaller, more compact. One of the chief ways we can do this in algebra is to add together what are called like terms. So what's a term in the first place? Well, terms you can think of as groups of things that are multiplied to each other. So here's 7 times r. That's a term. Here's 7 times r times s. That's another term. So all of these chunks here that are separated by either plus or minus signs, they're individual terms. Some of them are what we call like terms. That is, they have the same letters. So here's 7r. If we look all the way down here, we have a negative 7r, and it's really important to pay attention to the sign right before it. That's part of the term. So this is a positive 7r. It doesn't have a sign because it's the first one, but that's a positive. And here's a negative 7r. Oh, and here is a plain old negative r. When you see just the letter by itself, you should think of this as 1. That's the number. We don't write it, but that's, if you think about it, that's how many r's there are. There's 1 r there. There's 7 r's there. Now, when we add like terms, we just take the 7r's, the minus 7r's, the negative 1r, and we add them all together. So you can think of it like this: 7r minus 7r minus 1r. And then in your head, you can just add the numbers. 7 minus 7 would be 0. Minus 1 would be negative 1. So all of this comes out to be negative 1r. Or we would just write that as negative r. So we've just added those like terms. I'm going to cross them off. I'm going to remember that this is part of my answer. We're going to reassemble the answer when we're done. But we've got rid of all the r terms. So those are gone. Let's see what else we have. Our next term is rs. And so let's look for all of the rs terms. There's 7rs. Here's a negative 3rs. And I think that's it. So think of this one as 7rs. Minus 3rs. 7 minus 3 would be 4. So this gives us 4rs. And that's going to be part of our answer. So let's cross out those. And what's left is a 7s and a 3s. They're both positive, so 7s plus 3s. That would be 10s. So these are the 3 chunks of our answer. The only thing we have to do is put them together. And in terms of which one you put first or second, technically it doesn't matter, but usually we write them in alphabetical order. So we've got 4rs. So r comes before s. Let's put 4rs first. We've got a minus r, and then we've got a plus 10s. So remembering these two are positive, they don't have a negative sign in front of them, they're positive values. That is your simplified result. And you can see it is simpler. It's a lot less stuff than that one was. And that's our goal. Let's practice another one of those. So here we have negative 9cb minus 5cd minus 7bc plus 2dc. They're throwing an extra trick in on this one. cb is a term. It's not the same as cd, right? Because this one's got a d and that one's got a b. However, this one and this one, CB and BC, they're like terms. As long as the letters are the same, it doesn't matter what order they're multiplied in. So CB is the same as BC, and when we add this together, we'll probably write it as BC, just because we usually go in alphabetical order. So let's put this together. We have 9, well, let's rewrite that as BC, that's that one, minus negative 9BC minus 7BC. That's going to be a negative 16, so negative 9 minus 7, negative 16 BC. So that's one chunk of our answer. Let's go ahead and cross those out. And then what's left is a CD term and a DC term. They're like terms as well. So we've got negative 5 and a positive 2. So negative 5 CD plus 2, and I can write that as CD. That's going to be a negative 3 CD. So that's part of our answer. Now we just need to put that together. So we'll put a negative 16 BC minus 3 CD, and that is our answer. All right, one more. So this one let's see. They're doing that trick again where they change the order of things. Here's Hg and here's Gh. They both just have G and H. So these are like terms. And oh, Hg, G. Actually, all four of those are the same. They're like terms. So we can add the negative 8, and I'll write this as Gh, plus 2Gh minus 3Gh plus 5Gh. So negative 8 plus 2, that'd be negative 6, minus 3 would be negative 9, plus 5. So I think that's a negative 4Gh. That was simplified a lot. So we'll cross all those out. And what we have left is a negative 6 and a 9. So what do you do with these leftover numbers? Well, those are like terms as well. They don't have any letters at all, so that makes them like terms. A negative 6 and a plus 9, just add those together, you get a 3. So 3 is our other part of this answer. So when we put this together, we'll get negative 4GH and a plus 3. So that is how you combine like terms.